Right. Barakatin Yahweh, Barakatin YAHSIAH, Bahashem Kakadash, means to all hopeful legs, and Kwam Jasharala. Alright, we're going to do chapter 23 and 24 of 2 Kings, because you know what? We got to keep grinding. Now, YAHSIAH Reformation. Then the king directed that all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem should be gathered to him. The king went up to the house of the Most High, and with him went all the people of Judah, all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the priests, the prophets, and all the people, both small and great. He read in their hearing all the words of the book of the covenant that had been founded in the house of Yahweh Elohim. The king stood by the pillar and made a covenant before Yahweh Elohim to follow the Most High, before keeping his commandments, his decrees, and his statutes with all his heart and all his soul, to perform the words of this covenant that were written in the book. All the people joined in the covenant. Okay, and you know that, like I say, you know, Hilkiah means Yahweh is my portion. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so then the king commanded, and you know, YAHSIAH means, you know, the one Yahweh has held. You know what I'm saying? The king commanded the Most High priest Hilkiah, the priest of the second order, and the guardians of the threshold to bring out of the temple of the Most High all the vessels made for Baal and Asherah. Baal, you know, is sun worshiping. You know what I'm saying? And Asherah is wooden images, you know, and the female vibration also, and what's made of wood. Idols like crosses, and not only that, but also money. You know what I'm saying? Greece for worldly riches. And Asherah, and for all the host of heavens. There you go. That means the moon and all these star worshiping, this devil shit. He burned them outside Jerusalem in the fields of Kitron. You know what I'm saying? Kitron means basically like the lost place. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, the hopeless hill. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And carried it to the ashes to Bethel. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know, like the house of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He deposed the idolatrous priests whom the king of Judah had ordained to make offerings in the high places at the city of Judah and around Jerusalem. You know, worldly religion pastors, pork chop pastors. Those who also made offerings to Baal, Sunday sun worshiping, to the sun, the moon, the constellations, and all the hosts of heavens. He brought out the image of Asherah from the house of the Most High, that wooden cross and the money, the bribery, you know, bribing, you know, out of the house of the Most High, outside Jerusalem, to the Wadi Kitron, burned it at the Wadi Kitron, and beat it to the dust. I mean, that's the tempest to the sea, to the, you know, to the other nations. Let them do all that bullshit, you know, and beat it to the dust, and threw the dust up off it upon the graves of the common people. See, these other nations, these Edomites, the Hetans, all those people, you know, the other nations. He broke down the houses of the male temple prostitutes that were in the house of the Most High, you know, the Jezebel-hearted spirit, where the women did weaving for Asherah, you know, where they sell their body for sex, you know what I'm saying, for money, you know what I'm saying. He brought all the priests out of the towns of Judah and defiled the high places where the priests had made offerings from Geba to Beersheba. You know what I'm saying? Geba means the hill getting rid of, you know what I'm saying? And Beersheba means the place where, you know, they committed, you know what I'm saying, these you know, the commitment to this harlotry lifestyle. And saying he broke down the high places of the gates that were at the entrance of the gate of Joshua, the governor of the city. You know what I'm saying? The righteous, you know, got to get rid of the filth, basically, which were on the left at the gate of the city. And the priests of the high places, however, did not come up to the altar of fire. He did not come. However, then the priests of the high places, however, did not come out of the altar of the Most High Jerusalem, but ate unleavened bread amongst the kindred. He defiled to Tophet, which is in the valley of Behamon. Tophet means, you know, pretty much hell, man. You know what I'm saying? The hill, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like to hell, man. You know what I'm saying? So the place was gonna be destroyed, so that no one would make a son of a daughter pass through the fire as an offering to Molech. Yeah, Molech is that spirit of sacrificing your children to the fire. You know what I'm saying? Sacrificing your children to hell for worldly riches. You know. He removed the horses that the king of Judah had dedicated to the sun at the entrance to the house of the Most High. The horses to the sun. That means, you know, you sun worshiping pastors and preachers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, our people won't. You know, right here it says that people are gonna follow you. You know what I'm saying? At least 1/3 of us didn't then and now. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and he says here, at the entrance of the Most High's house, by the chambers of the Enub Natalamech, which was in the precincts basically, the Inukas, these foreigners, they have our scriptures, you know what I'm saying, and they want, like for example, Mormons and these people want to convert Israelites to the corrupted, twisted ways of our scriptures, which was in the precinct. Then he burned the chariots of the sun with fire. See, by Christian, all denominations of Christianity, man, gone. I'm saying the altars in the roof of the upper chambers of Ahaz, which the kings of Judah had made, and also altars of that Manasseh had made in the two courts of the house of the Most High. Two courts to 2/3 of the people who were idiots back then and now. He pulled down from there in broken places and threw the rubble into the Wadi Kitron. Basically, gave all that filth to the other nations. The king defiled the high places that were east at Jerusalem to the south of the Mount of Destruction, which King Solomon of Israel had built for Astarte. That's the female vibration, the moon, the mother, the queen of heaven. The abomination of the Sidonians, for Shemosh, the abomination of Moab, and for Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonite. Sun, moon, worshipping, all these demon shit, man, that has to do with sorcery, witchcraft, divination. He broke their pillars in pieces, cut down the scarlet poles, and covered the sites with human bones. Moreover, the altar at Bethel and the high places erected by Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who caused Israel to sin, he pulled down that altar along with the high places. He burned the high places, crushing it to the dust. He also burned the sacred pole as Hoshea turned. He saw the tombs there on the mount, and he sent and took the bones out of the tomb and burned them on the word of the Most High that the man of Elohim had proclaimed. When Jeroboam stood by the altar at the festival, he turned and looked up the tomb and of the man of the Most High, and had predicted these things. Then he said, "That is that mountain that I see." The people of the city told him, "It is the tomb of the man of Yahweh Elohim, who came from Judah and predicted these things that would have done against the altar at Bethel." He said, "Let me rest, let no one move his bones." So they let his bones out along with the bones of the prophet who came out of Samaria. Moreover, Josiah removed all the shrines of the high places that were in the towns of Samaria, which kings of Israel had made, provoking the Most High Yahweh to anger. He did to them just as he had done at Bethel. He slaughtered all the altars of all the priests of the high places who were there, and burned them, burned all the men's bones on them. Then he returned to Jerusalem. Okay, man, so he got rid of all the filthy, that defiles our people, until this day. Remember, history repeats itself, you know what I'm saying? Now, the Passover celebrated. The king commanded all the people, keep the Passover of Yahweh our Elohim, as prescribed in the books of the Holy Covenant. No such Passover has been kept since the days of the judges who judged Israel, or during all the days of the kings of Israel, or of the kings of Judah. Built in the 18th year of King Hoshea, this Passover was kept to the word of Yahweh Elohim in Jerusalem. Moreover, Josiah was put away all the mediums, the wizards, the teraphims, the idols, and all the abominations that had defiled, that had been seen in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem, so that he established the word of the law of the Most High that were written in the books that the priest Hilkiah had found in the house of Yahweh Elohim. Before him there was no king like him, who turned to the Most High Yahweh Elohim with all his heart, with all his soul, and with all his might, according to all that the law of Moses, nor did any like him arise after him. Still, the Most High did not turn from the fierceness of this great wrath by which his anger was kindled against Judah, because of all the provocations with which Manasseh had provoked him. The Lord Yahweh Elohim, I will remove Judah also out of my sight, as I have removed Israel, and I will reject this city that I have chosen. Jerusalem, in the house of which I have said, my name shall be there. Basically, 2/3 of the people, he's still mad, you know what I'm saying? Back then and now. Now the rest of the acts of Josiah and all the things that he did, and all these things that he did, are they not written in the books of Ananias, of the king of Judah, and in his days Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up to the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates. King Josiah went to meet him, but when Pharaoh Necho met him at Megiddo, he killed him. His servants carried him dead in the chariot from Megiddo, brought him to Jerusalem, and buried him in his own tomb. The people of the land took Jehoahaz, son of Josiah, anointed, and made him king in place of his father. Okay, basically, the spirit means, the spirit of, Yahweh is your salvation, you know what I'm saying? So the people were walking right, and, you know what I'm saying? And then it says here before, you know what I'm saying, that he took him over, it's because, Egypt means, the same, defilements of worldly religions. They basically took our scriptures and twisted Mashiach Yahushua into, like, synonyms with their, basically infused our scriptures with paganism. That's it. Reign in captivity of Jehoahaz. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began to reign in 3 months in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal. Hamutal means a Hamite woman, you know, a dark woman from the Hamite nation. You know what I'm saying? And daughter of Jeremiah of Levi, he did what was evil in the sight of the Most High, just as his ancestors had done. Pharaoh Necho confined him in Riblah in the land of Hamath. Basically, confined him to the Queen of Heaven, female vibration, you know, to this day. Okay, in the land of Hamath, right? Now it says here, so that he might not reign in Jerusalem and impose tribute on the land of 100 talents of silver and talents of gold. Basically, started worldly religions, you know, like Christianism and you know, whatever denomination of Christianity is you know, sun worshiping and Queen of Heaven vibration. You know what I'm saying, to our people. You know what I'm saying, instead of the righteousness, you know. And it says Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim son of Josiah king in place of his father Josiah, and changed his name to Jehoiakim. But he took Jehoahaz away. He came to Egypt and died there. Jehoiakim gave the silver and the gold to Pharaoh, but he taxed the land in order to meet Pharaoh's demands for money. Basically, Pastor Kuhn, man, Portia Kuhn, he knows the truth, man, but he twisted you know, our scriptures, you know what I'm saying, so he could profit, you know what I'm saying. So he and Pharaoh, you know, in present day, you know, Edomites profit. He exacted the silver and the gold from the people of the land, from all according to their assessment, to give to Pharaoh. See, bribes, you know. You know what I'm saying? Necho Joachim was 25 years old when he began to reign. In the reign 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Sebida, daughter of Pediah and Ruma. He did what was evil in the sight of the Most High Yahweh, just as all his ancestors had done. There you go, see? Man, it's always been like that. Now you see, finish up chapter 24. Judah overrun by enemies. In his days, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came up to Joachim, became his servant for 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him. The Most High sent against him bands of Chaldeans, bands of Arameans, bands of Moabites, and bands of Ammonites. He sent them against Judah to destroy it according to the words of the Yahweh Elohim that he had spoke by his servant the prophet. Basically, worldly religions, you know what I'm saying, of any denomination, everything, you know, from, you know, any Christian denomination, Muslimism, any Eastern philosophy, basically everything that's not the righteous path, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And it says here that surely this came upon Judah at the command of Yahweh Elohim to remove them out of his sight for the sins of Manasseh, for all that he had committed, and also for the innocent blood that he had shed, for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, and that the Most High was not willing to pardon. Now the rest of the deeds of Joachim and all that he did, are they not written in the book of annals of the kings of Judah? So Jehoiakim slept with his ancestors. Jehoiakim succeeded him. The king of Egypt did not come out against out of this land. He did not come out of this land, for the king of Babylon had taken over all that belonged to the king of Egypt, from the Wadi of Egypt to the river Beautiful. Basically, you know what I'm saying, Babylon, same thing. When it says taken over from Egypt, it basically, they pass over their same, you know, pagan gods to every dominant nation, you know, any world power. Joachim was 18 years old when he began to reign, 3 months in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Nehushata, that means a witch, some worshiper, you know, demon. Daughter of Elatan of Jerusalem, he did what was evil, see, in the sight of Yahweh Elohim, just as his father had done. At that time, the servants of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came up to Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came to the city where his servants were besieging them, where Jehoiakim of Judah gave him up to the king of Babylon himself, his mother, his servant, his father, and his officers. The king of Babylon took all his prisoners in the 18 years of the reign. Basically, all people sold down. Captured of Jerusalem, he carried off all the treasures of the house of the Most High and the treasures of the king's house. He cut in pieces all the vessels of gold in the temple of the Most High, which King Solomon of Israel had made. All this, as the Most High had foretold. He carried away all Jerusalem, all the officials, all the warriors, 10,000 captives, all the artisans and the smiths. No one remained except the poorest people of the land. He carried away Jehoiachin to Babylon, the king's mother, the king's wife, his officials. You know what I'm saying? Took officials, elite of the land. He took into captivity from Jerusalem to Babylon. The king of Babylon brought captives to Babylon all the men of valor, 7,000, the artisans, the smiths, 1,000, all of them strong, fit for war. The king of Babylon made Malatania, Joachim's uncle, king in his place and changed his name to Zedekiah. Basically, he's talking about, 2/3 of our people, saying back then and now, and only the poor left. That means that one poor, the remnant, saying. Zedekiah was 20 years old when he began reigning, 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutah, daughter of Jeremiah, and he did what was evil, on and on, wickedness, evil in the sight of the Most High, Yahweh Elohim, just as Joachim had done. Indeed, Jerusalem and Judah so angered the Most High that he expelled them from his presence. There you go. See, that's what happened, captivity. He expelled us from his presence. That's what we had to suffer, both southern and northern kingdom. All of us got thrown in there, saying, and now it's time for righteous to come out. I hope it was edifying. Glorified be Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai. Most High providing willing, we'll finish chapter 25, the last one. Shalom.